Hey folks, Vic here with your weekly trade video for Friday, August the 1st of 2025. Here is the reality of trading. Most trading courses or services are all hype and they show cherry-picked trades. Our service is different. For almost 8 years, our lead coach Darko has been sharing his pre-market analysis videos, what we call the PMA video, at least twice every single week in his swing trading service. Sometimes he'll show an extra one if it's necessary, showing where his pending orders are before price gets there, never after the fact, and he's been profitable every single year, or just about 8 years now. That's no fluke. Yet, the lure of huge quick profits in a very short period of time is very attractive, and almost 100% of the time leads to the destruction of your trading account. So in this video, I want to talk to you about what makes us different, who Darko is, what exactly is in the PMA videos that make them so valuable, among lots of other topics. So let's get into it here. The defining feature of Darko's trading service are his videos, the PMA videos that show his pending orders in advance and never after the fact, when it's hindsight and too late to do anything about it. And that's what really sets him apart from everyone else. Okay, and if you look around the internet, look at other services and see what they do, you'll see exactly what I mean. Darko went through all this, by the way, before he became our lead coach. I'll talk more about that in a bit, where he was so frustrated with everybody showing him what you could have done, should have done, and all this, but it was too late. Okay, a lot of traders have been through the ringer. They're tired of Forex hype. They're tired of cherry-picked trades, overhyped systems and that kind of thing, and they're left guessing after the move. Like, they'll see a move happen and go, well, what could I have done? How could I have gotten into that? And that happens, by the way. Sometimes there is no way to get into a move. However, you need preparation. Before the market moves, you have to have a plan. So that doesn't mean you're going to get every single move, but you have a proper, well laid out, proven trading plan in the first place. How we're different is that, again, Darko puts out his twice weekly PMA videos, and he shows his pending orders in advance, not after the fact. There's no hindsight coaching. It is real transparency. So anybody can see, exactly what he's doing ahead of time. And I'll tell you about Darko. He's been about 8 years now recording these daily PMA videos. By the way, do you know how many he's missed recording? 0. He has never missed a PMA video. He has a crazy work ethic. He's been profitable every single year overall. That doesn't mean he hasn't had losses. Of course he's had losses, strings of losses, and lots of strings of wins, etc. along the way. But the wins have far outstripped the losses, giving him an overall profitable track record. Just a quick story on Darko. He was actually a former student of mine, and he was very, very frustrated with what I've been talking about earlier, the overhyped, cherry-picked trades and all that, and people showing things in hindsight. And so anyway, he came to me and he said, "Look, I'm done with this whole trading thing. What can I do? What should I do from here?" And I said, "Well," and at that time I'd had several courses out on trading. One of them was called the Vic Trade, and which still works today. All these things still work today. They're the same old thing. We trade around support resistance using patterns. Anyway, Darko said, "Well, I see the Vic Trade really easily." I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. You trade that Vic Trade for 1 year on one currency pair." Well, I didn't think he'd do it. I thought he'd be out of here and gone, And not only did he not do it, he insisted that he show me his results every month to be accountable. And he had a fantastic year of trading. Actually, he had one losing month of 0.5%. Every other month was profitable. I remember there was trades. Some of them were like 2-3%. Some were 8%. And I remember one was around 15% in a single month. But overall, a really, really good year. And I thought, gee, this guy has that kind of discipline. So when that's very, very commendable and super rare. So next thing you know, he's our lead coach. He started in November of 2017. So I want to just talk to you about what these PMA videos entail. What he does, and they are all based on what is taught in the educational videos that are at our members area. Okay, so there's no confusion or saying one thing and doing another. You go through the educational videos on our site, and the PMA videos that Darko does are based on that. That's why it's so important to learn the educational videos first, so you understand what's going on. What he does in the videos, he gives you a market bias and he gives you key levels. And we only have, by the way, three patterns that we use, so that's super easy. He'll show pending orders, exact plans before they get hit, right? Exactly how to get into them, where he's going to get into them, where the stop's going to go, what invalidates the setup. So sometimes there'll be a setup, and along the way, price action will happen that dictates to him that the trade should be canceled, and he'll explain why. He doesn't just say, "Oh, cancel that." He'll tell you exactly why it is. And then, of course, he gives risk management guidance along the way. This is one of the most important things. Risk management is like so important. We recommend not to risk any more than 0.5% of your trading account on any one trade. But then it becomes trade management once you're in a trade, and that stuff is critical. And Darko covers that in his PMA videos, so you know what you should be doing. You want to build a repeatable trading plan, right? And that's exactly what it is that we offer. This thing is, 8 years later, like I say, it's not a fluke. You want to learn how to spot high probability setups, okay? And you want to learn to manage risk and position size. This is one of the most important parts of trading. You are a risk manager. Okay, position size I just talked about. You shouldn't be risking more than 0.5% of your account. That's our recommendation. Of course, it's your money. You can do whatever you want. But this is based on experience and capital preservation. And then you got to learn how to control emotions and follow a process. And I'll tell you something. This control emotions part is one of the hardest parts. Trading is pretty much 100% psychological. We can teach you the patterns in a weekend. That's not a big deal. You can go through all the content. You can learn it all. That doesn't mean you're a trader by any means. If you can't control the emotions, you're not going to have very good success trading. I'll just give you a little example. You get into a trade, you say, this sounds good. I understand, probability that sometimes, you have losses and all that kind of stuff. So you get into a trade and you just join the service, right? You get into a trade, and the first trade is a loser. Oh boy, here we go again, right? You go, well, you know what? The odds are that we're going to have some losses. So you take the second trade, it's a loser. Now what do you think? I tell you what, most traders couldn't stand that. They can't stand 2 losses in a row. It's crazy. But even though they say they understand, probability and odds, then the third trade comes along, it's a loser too. Now you've had a string of 3 losses. What do you think most traders do? They stop following the process. They quit. They leave the service. They quit, or they don't take the next trade because, oh geez, I just had 3 losses. I'm not taking the next one. This is ridiculous. Well, guess what? That 4th trade is a huge winner, and they miss out on it. Now, how do you think they feel emotionally? They're beat up. They're frustrated, pissed off, or however you want to put it. They're not happy. And that's what happens, and that's why you need to get that under control and learn to trade like in a professional way. Most traders fail because they don't take the time to learn the process. We have it all laid out in our members area, the stuff you're supposed to learn. You've got to go through all that content, or you're not going to understand it all. Or they chase signals with no context. Darko puts everything into context. We can have patterns that occur, for example, all over the place, but they're meaningless unless they're occurring at the right place in the right context. And Darko covers exactly this in his PMA videos. That's the nice thing about it, is that, it's one thing to learn it all and that, but it's another thing to actually put it into practice and execute the trades. And with Darko's guidance, you can learn as you're going along. It's great because he'll explain everything, and of course you can always ask him questions along the way. And they also fail because of emotion and inconsistent execution. Like I was just saying, you have a string of losses. Well, now all of a sudden you stop trading, because you had some losses, and you don't want to keep trading. It hurts when you lose, and you're emotional about it, and so you're not consistent in executing the next trade. Okay. Is this for you? Well, listen, if you can check these things off, yes, it certainly is. If you're serious about learning and doing the work, you have to put in the work. Now, don't think of this as a, oh my gosh, I have to sit back and do all this work. This should be fun. It should be something you look forward to doing, and it's exciting when you start putting it into practice and you see some good positive results. That's what gets the juices flowing, right? If you want trades explained before they happen, this is definitely for you. That's what Darko does in the PMA videos. He shows the whole thing before the trade gets set up. If you're ready to follow a process and track the results, yep, this is definitely for you, because that's what this whole trading system is about, is following a process, a repeatable process that for 8 years has been profitable every single year. It's not for you if you're looking for get-rich-quick signals, if you won't put in the study time, and you expect a 100% win rate. Well, that's ridiculous. That's not going to happen. I want to talk about putting in the study time, It really amazes me, like, you can't expect to learn all this stuff in a month. I mean, it takes longer than that. And I know you can go on YouTube and find traders that say they made $10,000 the first month and they did this and that. Well, good luck with that. I know how that ends. Okay, I've seen lots of that, and it's heartbreaking to see traders get sucked into that stuff. But you have to put in some study time, and you have to learn the approach and learn risk management like really, really well before you can, really truly hope to move ahead in this. There is, like, all of Darko's PMA videos are archived, and they're recorded and archived. Excuse me. So there's no we can't go back and change it and say, oh, we wouldn't have taken that trade, blah, because it was a losing trade. No, too late. Once it's recorded, it's posted to for our members to see. It's archived. You can go back and look them up, and there's no getting around it. There's total transparency with it, with the trades, because they're all timestamped before the entry. You can see exactly where the entry was supposed to be, and you'll see where Darko's telling you where his pending order is before price gets there. Okay? Now here's the deal. If you want to see some of these PMA videos and other things, you can join our free our CC starter service. It's completely free. Okay, there's no obligation. We're not going to email and hound you to join our service. We want you to be comfortable. We want people who want to be in our service, right? That's better for both of us. And you can join the CC starter for free. There's a link in this email, below this video, or in the email that you received. And you can see some sample videos. Now, some of those videos will be short-term trading, and that's because our CC starter members, for this free service, some of them are short-term, have more of a short-term trading bent. They want to learn to trade short-term, maybe even micro-scalping, I don't know, because the process is the same, no matter what trading style you want to pick. But, so you'll see some short-term trades, some long-term trades, and, everything in between, and you'll see, excuse me, some PMA video samples in there as well. And you'll see how those plans are put together before the market opens, before fills happen. Okay? And then, what I want you to do, let me move ahead to the next slide here. Send me an email. Right there's my email right there, at vicnoble@forexmentor.com. Whether just put a subject, I'm ready to learn, or whatever you want. And I want, and let me know your trading experience. Let me know what your goals are. Let me know what your time availability is. And what I can do is put that together with what I would recommend for you. Because, like, if you're someone who's really busy, you got a job, kids, hobbies, whatever, and you just don't have time, obviously you're not going to be doing some short-term trading, because you need to spend more time at your computer. Now, short-term trading can be really, really good and very lucrative if you have the time to do that. Our London close trade strategy is one of those things. Now, that trades at a very specific time of the day. Depending on where you live in the world, that might not be suitable for you, even though it's a great trading system and very, very accurate. But you got to do what fits you and your lifestyle, or it's not going to happen for you, right? By the way, if you email me, let me know what time zone you're living in as well, because that makes a difference. Okay. So we are ready when you are. You don't have to guess. You have to, you need to put together a really good trading plan. We have that. We can help you with that. And, if you're ready to learn, we'd just be honored to help you and on your whole quest to becoming consistently successful. So with that, I hope to hear from you soon. In the meantime, have a great weekend and trading week ahead. and I'm here if you have any questions you want to ask me. Thanks so much.